This time we've been looking at the Big History Project. Now the Big History Project is made up of different ingredients plus the Goldilocks conditions, which equals new complexity. Now, when we first started Big History, we wondered, well, what is it? Big History is made up of different concepts such as claim testing, collective learning, but the main concept we looked at was Goldilocks conditions. Goldilocks conditions is basically you can't have too much or too less of an ingredient, otherwise it doesn't work. The first activity we did as a whole of Year 10. There was different teams and they had to design basically a tower with a pack of cards that showed the most complexity. Now, the groups had to consider that if you had too much complexity, that it wouldn't work, and if you had too less, that you wouldn't have complexity at all. The second activity that we looked at was a website which showed different scales of things. Now this shows here that Alpha Centauri A is the same size as the Sun and Alpha Centauri B. Now it goes right down to the size of a human. Now the size of a human is the size of a giant earthworm and a sunflower. And it shows that a dodo bird is the same size as a beach ball. The first threshold we looked at as a class was the Big Bang. Now, with the Big Bang, we looked at the timeline and what happened straight after the Big Bang, within seconds, within years. We looked at different astronomers, and these astronomers showed us, told us how the universe first changed and what happened as it changed. We also looked at what emerged from the Big Bang, so planets, life, stars. A Big Bang, an activity we did regarding the Big Bang was we had to explain to a student what the Big Bang was, what happened straight after the Big Bang, why there was a Big Bang. The next threshold within the Big History was stars and elements. Now our class didn't complete threshold 2 and 3 of stars and elements, but this threshold was about how stars were formed. Why do we have stars? The next threshold we looked at was Earth and the solar system. Now we looked at why Earth was formed, what made up the solar system, how it was formed, what it was first like on Earth, and the importance of plate tectonics. Plate tectonics is very important to Earth itself. Plate tectonics is why we have mountains, why we have ridges, why we have oceans. We did two activities for Threshold 4. The first one was a salad spinner activity, where we got a salad spinner, put paint inside it, and lined it with paper. Now when you were supposed to spin it, the paint was supposed to flick up onto the paper, and that showed you how planets were first formed, with rocks, clouds of dust, and that's how planets formed. The next activity was a pool activity, where different countries were cut out in foam and placed in the pool. Now, all the countries first were one continent. Then due to plate tectonics, it showed that the countries separated, and that's why we have oceans and stuff like that. Threshold 5 was about life. What is life? The difference between non-life and life. We looked at the beginning and the ways of life and the generations. We did different activities to do with DNA and trees of life. The first activity was the tree of life, and it showed that from one cell we have amphibians and mammals and different creatures, and without that one cell we wouldn't be here today. The next activity was a DNA activity, and this showed we got different lollies, and that made up our DNA. It showed different lollies that represented different elements within the DNA helix. The next threshold was, for our class, was Gala Day. Our Gala Day, we had to choose an era. So our group chose Native American Indians. Our group prepared activities which explained to junior school students how Native Americans survived, what their food source was. The thing I've enjoyed most about Big History was learning about different thresholds. My favourite threshold was life, learning about basically, if we didn't have that first cell, we wouldn't be here today. Um, Things I didn't enjoy most was not getting to all the thresholds. We only completed, I think, half of the thresholds, which was disappointing because we didn't get to go into the depth of the thresholds and up to, well, the threshold of today. Recommendations for big history. Um, Basically, more time to study all the thresholds and go in deeper and discover more about each threshold, like life. You need more time to discover about life and how, like, why we have life and stuff like that. So this term I really enjoyed big history, but it would have been good to have more time on it.